Okay? All right, now, one of the things you're going to be asked to deal with more than likely is they give you information about one line compared to another line. So now in letter E, I'm saying I have a line that's parallel to the line in C, which we did this one right here, but it passes through this point right here. Well, what about parallel lines? If you look at my arms, I'm trying to make them parallel. What do you think about their slopes? And in fact, we've discussed this many times, the slopes on parallel lines have to be equal. If they're not equal, if one just changes a little bit differently than the other, eventually they will have to intersect. So parallel lines have the same slope. So if you look at this, they're giving us a point, and they're also giving us the slope, because the slope has to be the same as it was over here. So the slope is -3/2. All right, so now what I can do is use point slope form, and this is really just an instant equation. So y minus y1 is m times x minus x1. Remember, these equation models will be on your test, so you won't have to remember this other than realize point slope is a major linear equation form. So y minus 4 equals the slope has to be the same as that, x minus -8 is x plus 8. There would be my equation. Okay? Now, one more situation I want to talk about before I totally lose my voice. And that is, what about perpendicular lines? Well, I could show you this here with a picture, but, and I will just briefly, but say you got a line and the slope is 2/3. All right, and now a perpendicular line is a line that intersects this line, but it intersects it at a 90-degree angle. Okay, now the only way that's going to work with slopes is, first of all, one's positive and the other is negative, but what would be the other one? And what we find out is the slopes on perpendicular lines actually are negative reciprocal fractions. So if this one has a slope of 2/3, we want to flip that and change the sign because it's got to be the opposite direction. So it's going to be -3/2. All right, now, if you look at letter F, it says perpendicular to line D. All right, well, line D was right here. And the slope was 1/3. Well, but we're not that, we're perpendicular to that. So can we flip this fraction and change the sign? Hope you say, yes, I can. If you flip it, it's 3/1, make it negative, and you're going to have the slope of the perpendicular line. So the slope of this line, since it's perpendicular to this, is in fact -3. One of the greatest things you can learn to do is write down information when you see it. You figured the slope is -3. I'm giving you a point and the slope. So for about the 4th time in this lesson, we're going to use point slope form. Okay? So can we do it? Y minus y1 would be y minus 2 equals the slope, -3, times x minus 1. From there, if you need to, you simplify that down. Y minus 2 equals -3, x positive 3. Add 2. Y equals -3, x plus 5. And there we go. Okay? So a lot of little situations where we're going to write a linear equation given the information. Slope form is great if we know the y-intercept. Okay? If we don't, if we got other points, you're going to probably plug into point slope form and go with that. And then from there, if you want to, you can simplify into slope intercept form. Okay? Certainly, standard form is the different one. So if I was going to review that again one last time, I'd just say you got two variables combining to make a total. So if I was buying myself 50-cent candy bars, and then I was buying myself 15-cent pencils, for whatever reason I'd combine them, I'm not sure, and I spent myself $7, that would be an equation in standard form. Combinations of variables to result in some sort of a total. I hope that helps. And we will see you in the next video.